Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Okay, and today's lesson, all right, as you can see the title, people are angry. Okay, as a matter of fact, really I should have made it, people are extremely angry. Okay, and they're about to get even angrier. And this was inspired by a article that I just came across, which says here, this is from Zero Hedge, and it says polls show that the American people, specifically, right, the American people are extremely angry, and they are about to get even angrier. Okay, and one thing about anger, all right, is anger is got to be one of the strongest emotions. Okay, because emotions are emotions, but there's certain emotions that are more powerful or stronger than others. And that's why when you think of anger, usually a lot of drastic actions go along with it when people are not able to control their anger, all right, or have that self-control. And one thing we know about American people is they lack self-control. Okay, American people are the most impulsive people on the planet Earth, the most wanton, undisciplined, big ass babies, pretty much on the planet Earth. And these babies are like, it's like a baby sucking on a lollipop, and you yank the lollipop out of their mouth, and you hear their lips just clap together because the lollipop is not there anymore, and then you see their face, and then they start to cry. Okay, but now these people, as we're about to read, it says here they're very angry. And there's a reason the Lord is having these events happen and these people getting into that spirit, because when you read of these prophecies and the things that these people are going to be doing, it's going to take anger to do those things. Okay, it's going to take anger for friends to fight one against another like enemies. There's going to be a spirit of hostility in the air. That's why people are not going to have pity upon their neighbors. They're not going to have pity. You're going to have family members that are going to be ready to kill each other over a freaking week old piece of chicken or something. Over a small disagreement, people are going to be willing to take it to the extreme because of anger. Okay? Now it says here, this wasn't supposed to happen. We were promised that once Joe Biden was in the White House, that the tremendous anger that was building up in our country would start to subside. But that obviously is not happening, because it really is the spirit that the Most High had them put Biden in there. Because there's a reason the scriptures say that the Lord's thoughts are not our thoughts. We thought that keeping, at first, keeping Trump in there, either way, it looked like it would have been chaotic because the nation was at a divide. But Trump seemed more like the controversial dude, right? The one to really put things out there that would stir up people's spirits. But come to find out, it was really Biden. Okay? Because remember, the appearance, they deceive people with the appearance and with the situation. And that's why so many people flocked and said, yo, we're going to vote for this guy. He's going to make it all better. I kid you not, the day this guy got voted in, all you hear was people clapping, people rejoicing, people driving up and down the streets with flags, playing music, having cookouts, having a good time. And we walked past them, and we knew, and we discussed amongst ourselves. We said, these people are gone. Just give it a couple of months, and you'll see if they keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. But now, what are you upset about? You're the ones who, people got mad at you if you said you didn't want to vote. Also, you're a Trump supporter, so you like this guy. He said all these outrageous things, and you want to keep him in office. People like you make me sick. Oh, don't even talk to me. And then they went in. Now you got to deal with it. What do you mean? This isn't what was supposed to happen. What the hell did you think was supposed to happen? His job is to create division and to take the heat for it, because the elites know that in the last phase of their plan, they're going to need chaos and division, but they need somebody to spark that. So they said, look, bro, bring your old ass over here. Do one last job for us. You old anyway. You know, you might as well make it worth your while. And just take the heat. Be that scapegoat and still keep pushing. Now, as these courts and these people start to say, look, we're not with this. And, you know, they try to go back and forth. We're going to see what step is Creepy Sleepy Joe going to take. Is he going to back down, back off? All right. Or is he going to overstep his boundaries and basically pour gasoline on that fire and cause an explosion? Because really, we're looking to see. Now it says, in fact, as you will see below, Americans have been getting angrier. Needless to say that the stunt that Joe Biden pulled last week is certainly not helping matters. When he visited Boise on Monday, enormous crowds of extremely angry protesters were waiting for him. Hey, man, and when you look at it, a lot of these people, their anger is going to drive them, especially these Americans. They don't have restraint. They don't have self-control. Their anger is going to drive them to do things that you would have never imagined. And they're going to come after these politicians. They're going to come after these mayors. They're going to come after these governments. They're going to try to go after the president. It says there were very extremely crowds of extremely angry protesters were waiting for him. What happens when you have a leader of a country that is hated by his people? You know what happens? They go after him. Like during the Roman Empire, there was the Caesar Caligula. All right, Little Boots. Otherwise, I think his actual name was Cicero, if I'm not mistaken. And he was just done. People hated this guy because he was cruel. He was sick in the head. He was bugged out. And he used to do the most outlandish things up until even some of his closest men plotted to assassinate him. And I believe they ended up killing him, putting him to death. Because people just didn't like this guy. They didn't want to see him alive anymore because their lives were becoming hell because of him. So then their anger gets focused on somebody and they start to go after that person. So when the scriptures say that they shall not regard their kings nor princes, it's not going to be just, whatever. No, it's going to be out of anger. You know, like, who the hell are you? Don't tell me shit. You know, yeah, Nero too. Con. You know, they don't tell me shit. No, F that. You know, we done listening to you people. You know, we done listening to your stupid BS. We're done. Because of you, we are out of jobs. Because of you, we are hungry. Because of you, look at what's happening to America. You're going to have nationalistic Edomite Americans, and then you're going to have Jake that are suffering. Okay, so you're going to have these nationalistic Edomite Americans that are saying, look, you have destroyed our nation. And then you're going to have Jakes that are going to say, look, you destroyed my life. I can't feed my family because of your stupid ass. You know? And once those protests start forming, they will quickly turn to riots. Because protests, honestly, don't do shit. If you walking around with signboards and you claiming it's a peaceful protest, it doesn't do anything. It does not do anything for you in the slightest. They just look at you as like a show. Well, what is that supposed to do? You really want to get their attention. You notice during the George Floyd protests or riots, you know, whether orchestrated or not, that's all they were talking about. So it says here, and everywhere I go on social media this week, I am seeing huge explosions of anger. You know, you had people chanting F Joe Biden. It says, what in the world is our country going to look like if all this anger continues to grow? Normally, an anger changes a person, man. You may think you know somebody until you see them angry. Like, I mean, not annoyed, furious. You see them angry, you know, and they just have that outburst. You're going to see them a little different for a while because you're going, whoa, shit, you know? Like, damn, you know, whoa, hold up. And man, these people, man, the Lord is setting up that condition to really have that explosion. Okay, that explosion where people are going to be in a certain zone, a certain mindset, and it's going to make it easy for these demons to hop on them and make them do certain things. Now it says normally it is either one side of the political spectrum or the other that is angry at a given time. But here in September 2021, both sides of the political spectrum are very angry. Just check out these stunning numbers from a brand new CNN. Now amidst all of this, not only is he stepping on the American citizens' toes, but he's also stepping on his allies' toes, because now you have France that feels betrayed, and they're looking at the U.S. like, really, he's Macron is looking at Biden and saying, "Yo, what you pulled is something that Trump would have done." Basically, them agreeing to form this pact between the U.S., the U.K., and Australia, okay, and allow them or give them nuclear tech to build nuclear capable submarines or so. And that basically scrapped the deal that Australia had with France. So now France is looking at the U.S. like, the fact that you just did that and that really affected us negatively, we're not really looking at you like we cool. And that's leading them to think maybe we should start to really examine our alliance with you, because what, as of right now, after the Cold War, after these various wars, what benefit do these nations really have by remaining in an alliance with the U.S.? Because the U.S. is not the only nation that these other countries trade with. And as a matter of fact, these other countries oftentimes get prohibited from trading with other countries that benefit them, because the U.S. says, we're going to put tariffs on you because we're not cool with that country. You cannot do deals with that country. Because we're not cool with Russia. You can't buy technology or nuclear defense systems or missile defense systems from Russia. So almost like a dictator telling you what you can and cannot do, but yet, why the hell should we listen to you? And then on top of that, you make things worse by doing something like this. Now, it says here, a new CNN poll finds that 74% of U.S. adults now say they are very or somewhat angry about the way things are going in the U.S. today. 74%. I thought this guy was one of the most voted for presidents. But you got 74% of U.S. adults saying they are very or somewhat angry at the way things are going in the U.S. today. And this is just the beginning. The dude came out and announced a six-step plan on how to save lives. And he hasn't even brought out the draconian stuff yet. He's talking about if you're an employer with 100+ employees, you're gonna lose your jobs. What about when you can't go to the stores, supermarkets? What about when you can't travel interstate? What about when you can't travel domestically or internationally? What about these things? What about when they start taking a page out of Australia's book and they start building isolation centers and they start saying, no, we got to take these people there? How angry do you think people are going to be then? And how willing do you think they're going to be to comply? This place is about to look like a war zone. And it's going to be shocking because on this land, things haven't really gotten out of hand to that level before. Things have been bad. You've had certain civil wars and stuff here and there, but not on the level that is going to happen in a hot minute. Now it says that includes 88% of Republicans and 70% of independents and even 67% of Democrats. Wait, you got even Democrats that are angry at the way this guy is running this? Okay. Slovakia. Now it says, but wait, there's more. Another 69% of U.S. adults say that things are going to get pretty or very badly in the country these days. That includes 91% of Republicans, 72% of independents, and 49% of Democrats. So everybody can see that this place is through. It says 69% of adults, U.S. adults, say that things are going to get pretty or very badly. Because what do you expect? When you tell somebody that I'm going to stop your means of providing for yourself and for your family because of a stupid ass reason like this, what do you expect? And then on top of that, a lot of evidence and information is coming out that's making these people sound even more saying, oh no, we can never mandate. Oh, we don't even have the authority to do that. Then right after they play a video that says, yeah, we're gonna mandate this, we're calling for more mandates, we're looking at stop you from doing this. And people are sitting behind the TV and they're looking at it, and that's why they have you gotta really think about it, right? If these elites put Biden in power and they wanted him to be seen in a good light, but they control these news stations like Fox and CNN and all these other news stations. But when you go on channels like Fox, they're constantly stirring up the spirits of the people to come against the Biden administration and so on and so forth. But then you thinking, wait, if the elites run it all, why are they allowing Fox to put the president in a bad light? Why are they having these news anchors say things that are going to spark that angry, wild spirit in people? It's because that's what they want. They want they want that opposition. They want you to watch these sites, get that spirit, go and watch CNN and MSNBC, and then get even more pissed off because you're like, you dumbass people are always trying to sugarcoat things and act like everything is sweet. And coon ass people, you know, because it's all orchestrated. It says here, another 69%. Okay, we just read that. It says those numbers are crazy. Just a few months ago, there was so much optimism. But see, we were the bad guys. A few months ago, we were the bad guys because we're just big bad boogeymen who don't want to see anybody happy. There was a word Apostle Gabar used. I believe he said misanthropes. Okay, but we have a right to be. You know why? Because we saw the things that these people are now seeing, but we saw it long ago. What is there here? We've been, ever since we came into this truth and we started to grow, we've been seeing America at its end, at its worst. We've been looking at America through the lens of prophecy. See, that's the title right there. Looking at America through the lens of prophecy. And because of that, we've had that feeling of wanting to get out of here and that disgust for this place for so long. But these people weren't looking at America through the lens of prophecy. They were looking at it through the here and now. So whenever they looked at us and we would talk bad about this place, they would, they would be like, they wouldn't understand why. They would think we're just a bunch of, once again, haters. You guys are always talking about some negative stuff. Why don't you get a life? You guys are bums. Why don't you go do something with your life? Okay. Well, now why don't you go do something with your life? Oh, wait, you can't. But it says, those numbers are crazy. Just a few months ago, there was so much optimism. But now the mood of the nation has completely shifted. You know why? Because it's a spirit the Lord has put in. Uproars of the people. Okay? Sedition among men. Not only would these devils cause or provoke people to get into that spirit, the Lord was also going to sprinkle that easily agitated, angerish spirit upon people. So the slightest thing, people will shoot somebody over a parking spot. I've been here for a minute. Nah, nigga, this is my spot. And then somebody will get shot over a parking spot. People are ready to kill each other in traffic. Somebody cuts you off and you ready to rip their head off, gouge their eyeballs out, go to the extremes. So how much more you see that energy? Put a little bit of desperation in there over some stupid, ridiculous things. There you have it. You have an angry nation. Okay? So much for optimism. Let's see. It says, surprisingly, the same CNN poll asked a question about illegal immigration, and it found even most Democrats are concerned about the movement of undocumented migrants or immigrants, because they're saying, look, hold on. You botched this whole Afghanistan thing. You're coming with some ridiculous BS that we don't want to adhere to. Okay? And now you done brought these quote unquote immigrants into the country, and now they're infecting people with measles. And it's like, damn, bro, everything that could go wrong for you is going wrong for you. But then your proud ass comes there as if you got some power to speak. He's pounding his hand on the desk. Our patience is running thin. Get the shot. Like, as if like nobody's ready to listen to you anymore. But now what happens when a ruler of a nation has his people that don't want to listen to him anymore, or they don't want to listen to his words anymore? He has to become a tyrant. He has to now make people comply. Because when people start to say, look, we're not listening to you anymore, we take you for a joke, you're not somebody that we're going to adhere to, then he's going to need to put his foot down, right? And enforce certain measures so that people don't have a choice but to obey. Because actions speak louder than words. Okay, but keep in mind that majority of these things are orchestrated. Okay? It says, oh wow. It says here, ever since Joe Biden entered the White House, giant throngs of people have been surging to our southern border, and this has created an unprecedented immigration crisis. Incredibly, even though Biden has decided to impose the mandates on upon millions of American citizens, even the White House press secretary is admitting that there will be no such requirement for the illegal immigrants that are being let into this country. So, do you see why people will get upset? Somehow, American citizens are required to adhere to these mandates, but these illegal immigrants that you're letting into the country, they're immune to it. They don't gotta comply with that. These people are getting ready to go rip that dude's head off, man. They do not like this guy, and I'm very interested to see what America was going to look like in December, because this is a world effort. This isn't just in America. This is a world effort. So these other nations, every other day, you're hearing, oh, this country just came out and said, yep, we're going to start bringing our passports, and this is what it's going to be like. But these are the same people who said, no, you're not going to see health passports. No, you're not going to see mandates. You're not going to see any of this. And it wasn't just in America. This was worldwide they said this. So how can you believe these people when they tell you we're looking out for you? Were you looking out for me when you said you had no intentions of doing this, and then you turned around and said you did it? Oh, right. You were following the data, following the science. These guys are a bunch of jokes, man. They are a bunch of jokes. It says members of Congress and their staffs are exempt from Biden's new requirements as well. Oh, isn't that interesting? It says, but the rest of us are apparently fair game. Today, my wife walked into a store where the employees were openly talking about how they might soon lose their jobs because of these new mandates. There was actually a video, I shared it yesterday, of nurses. They went to their job, and basically I guess the bosses and stuff were like, what are you doing here? You don't work here anymore. We're going to have to ask you to leave. And then the lady was recording it, and she was like, are you firing me? Can you explicitly tell me? Are you terminating me? Are you firing me? Because I haven't quit. So what do you mean I can't come here anymore? And then but he knows that's exactly what he's doing. But they don't want to explicitly say it, because then you can come back and put them on the spot for that. So they'll sit there and say, we're not, but eventually he said it. Eventually he said, yes, you're being terminated. She said, and she made sure to explicitly say it. So because I don't want to take this, you are terminating me. I can't work here anymore. And she made sure he said it out of his own mouth. All right. So that's what they're doing. Now, has it ever occurred to you that nurses and doctors are so-called essential to your country? Because during the midst of this thing, that's what everybody was saying, right? Oh, our nation's heroes. Oh, they're going to save lives. Look at them. They're putting their lives on the line to save our lives. But now, oh yeah, we don't need you anymore. You could bounce. If you're not with it, you could dip. And so when maybe 70% of your nurses start quitting and 65% of your doctors start leaving, what happens to your hospital then? What happens when you actually have an injury? You broken leg, I don't know, some injury, and you come there, or maybe there's another demic, there's another demic that takes place. What are you gonna do? You're gonna recall all your nurses back? Because in order to do certain jobs, you actually need to have the skills. You can't, and nobody, not just a random person can just get up and say, I'm gonna just go take up this job and do it. You need to have the certain skills. So when you have people that have those skills, but they're quitting because you're not letting them, you're trying to force them to do something, what do you think is gonna happen? They're saying now that people have to wait for 911 calls. They got a wait time of 5 minutes or longer. We know it's much longer than that. Why? Because a lot of these first responders and these police officers, these firefighters, what do you think they're doing? They're out. So these elites are systematically designing a purge-like situation. Because now a police officer gets in some shit, he calls for backup, ain't no backup coming, bro. That officer, you know what he's gonna do? So look, this ain't worth my life. I can't go into these neighborhoods and try to police it if when I call for backup, nobody's coming. Because then I'm gonna get my ass blasted. So I'm not doing this anymore. Now he quits. This place is completely through. Hope, Faith, and Grace 144. NYC just temporarily suspended the Victoria for doctors, nurses, because so many. Hey, and I read something where they were saying that they were gonna basically put a restraining order on it so that people didn't have to do it. They wouldn't lose their jobs, if they didn't do it. But remember, these devils know how to play. When we tell you they know how to play them, trust me, man, they have people that are masters at mind games, extreme masters at mind games, because they will do something that you may wait, isn't that counterintuitive? Because if counterproductive for what you want to do, but then you find out later on that was really to set up. It's all psyop, because you need to make it seem as though you have more than one side. Yeah. We're one side says no, bring the mandates. The other side says no, you can't do it. We got to fight back, controlled opposition. Some of them are sincere, some of them are controlled, some of them are to give you a false sense of hope. You know, yeah, oh no, you guys can't do this. You don't have the authority to do this. And then it looks like, oh yeah, we're finally pushing back against them. Then this dude declares some emergency and whips some hidden executive order out of somewhere and says, technically, because of da 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 da, I can't do this. Now, you may have had a nurse that says, I need to look for another opportunity. She goes, she applies for something, maybe a remote job or something, and she gets it. But then she hears about this and she says, okay, fine. She turns down that remote job because in her mind, she's like, look, they halted it. So she sticks with this job. And then what happens is she sticks with this job and then comes to find out that her boss, or later on, they pull something out of thin air and say, oh, by the way, matter of fact, that restraining order and all that we can't do that anymore because Biden just pulled this out. Now they fire her, but she can't go back to the remote job because she turned it down for this. Now how do you think she's gonna feel? They're gonna blame everything that goes wrong in their life on these authorities. And that leads me into the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you're going to have people against people against government, people against the authorities, and swords in their hands, meaning that it's going to be weapons, not no fist to fist. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. They're going to uprise against the authorities. Why do you think that is? Because the authorities are going to be making their life a living hell, and they're going to say, to hell with you. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Why would they invade one another? Because when the supermarkets run empty, your house becomes the supermarket. So now they start to take a step into your crib. And they make sure they come with some assurance. They come with a group of people, or they come with some weapons. And it says what? They shall not regard their kings nor princes. People don't regard Biden as an authority. So now the ball's in your court. What are you going to do? And if people are getting this mad, matter of fact, I gotta hit these precepts, So what I'll do is I'm gonna put the link to this article in the chat right now, so you brothers and sisters can have access to it if you want to finish reading it. But these people, they're not gonna be regarding. So the question is, what is Biden gonna do? Because he says he got some more planned. He said, look, next month I'm coming with some more. And matter of fact, this month I got some more measures planned. So the fire is only going to get more intense and more intense and more intense. But we have to watch and pray and see, okay, how are they going to do this? So we're going to watch and see. But it says here, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Why do you think a man is not going to have pity upon his neighbor? Because they're going to be in a crazed mindset. They're going to be angry, man. And they're going to say, look, we're cool and all, but I need to feed my family. My 2-year-old daughter is starving to death, and you got all this food in your basement, and I'm asking for 2 cans, and you telling me no? You're going to have situations like that. You're gonna know damn well that your neighbor he's stocked up. And that's why if you got stuff, you don't go around blurting it to everybody. Yeah, hey, shit. I mean, I think things are gonna be bad, but I'm preparing. Nah, my house is full. I got cans on top of cans. I got electricity, I got water, I got silver, I got canned goods, I got anything you can need. So I know I'm good. Yeah, I live on the 6th floor. So what do you think is going when the dude you're talking to, or maybe somebody that's passing by and it runs by their ear, when things go bad and they're sitting there and they're like, man, we're just starving, we can't do this anymore, they're gonna come and knock at your door. They might come and just ask, hey, things are really bad. Is there any way that we could get something? I don't know if you have anything, and then you're gonna say, oh damn, I'm sorry, bro. Hey, we going through it too, man. Things are really bad. We can't really get anything to eat. So, I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't help you. And you know how they're going to feel? They're going to be like, you sure? Like, you can't even spare anything? You don't have anything? No, I'm sorry, bro. But they remember what you said that day. So how come what do you mean you don't have it? So you know what happens? The next time they might leave. But the next time they come to your door, they might not be alone. And they might not be empty-handed. And this time when they come, they're not coming to ask. They asked before, and you said no. And so now they're coming to take. Boom, boom, boom. You open the door. Yo, I said I don't have it. There's a gun to your head. Move out the way, nigga. Tie him up somewhere. Round up everything you could round up. And then they take your shit and bounce. So a man shall not have pity upon his neighbor, because desperation is gonna make people do things. And they're gonna put their family before their friends, but it's gonna get so dire that they're gonna put themselves before their family. And that's when you're going to really see some shit. Heartbreaks. Imagine if you're a wife and you have a daughter or a son, a child, and your husband is turning on you and your child because things are so desperate. Imagine that. That maybe he sells you for a can of beans. Or he's telling you, let's eat our daughter because I'm so hungry. How do you feel when your defense is now turning on you? And I'm saying these people are going to be losing their minds, man. People that they thought they could trust are going to turn on them because they went down to Egypt for help. And the true shepherds that were looking out for them, they cursed them out and they drove them away. So when the time comes, when the wolves come in, you're not going to have any shepherd to risk his life for you. All these proud ass, obnoxious people, that don't think freaking 2 steps ahead. They only think in the moment, and they're so impulsive. You got a lot of these women that you even ask for the time. Yo, excuse me, I have a boyfriend. Don't talk to me. Oh my gosh, another one. What do you think you think you're gonna turn around and ask for help from somebody in that time? That's not gonna happen, man. You have these people who might have been friends, and maybe one of them got a good job or a good career or something, and they just dipped. And they start flexing on the other one, making them feel bad, shitting on them and all of that. What's going to happen? everybody's going to be put on a quote unquote equal playing field. Your money's not going to mean anything then. And people are going people are going to get revenge with anger and demons. Demonic revenge. You can imagine what that looks like. So continuing, it says, but they shall destroy, 2nd Ezra 15 and 19, continuing, but they shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. See, they're going to destroy their houses with what? With the sword. So when they come in, they're kicking down your door, they're going to have weapons. It says, spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's going to have a lot of people in that mindset of not caring. This is Matthew 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So because of lawlessness and anarchy and people not regarding the laws of the Heavenly Father and the chaos, the love for one another is going to wax cold. People are not going to be willing to just help anybody. It's going to pretty much be like everybody for themselves. And what do you, in a time like that, there's that saying, survival of the fittest. So a lot of people are not fit. So when that time comes, they're going to be looking for assistance. Imagine the older people. Imagine the people in nursing homes. Not the workers, but the actual old people. Imagine the infants. Imagine these people. What do you think is going to be happening? And that's why in Ezekiel 9 and 5, the Lord told those angels, do not spare, do not have pity, old or young, women or maids or little children. So a fire breaks out in a birth clinic, and all these babies get wiped out. They're crying, but there's nobody to go in there and save them. What do you think is going to happen? People that are on life support, people that are on ventilators, these people are going to be done, man, because there are situations that are going to arise that if the Most High, you got assisted living, where they need certain workers to come and help them. When all this goes to hell, what are you going to do? When the lights go out and you're on a ventilator and there's no electricity, what are you going to do? So it says here, verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Okay, and that endurance starts now. Now, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, because that energy of adversity, of anger, of hostility is in the air. It's very thick in the air. People are running on a very thin patience. Okay? And now people are starting to realize that, yo, when you do shopping, you have to now limit your list to what's essential, because prices are going up so high. You try to do grocery shopping and the shit is coming out to $300. Now you're like, oh, God, it's hard because if I take these things off, I'm going to need it. But if I don't take it off, I don't got the money for this. So now you start cutting down on the things you can buy. And there was a audio clip of this. And damn, our brothers uploaded maybe a year or two ago. And it was pretty much going into the end of the world, and how when things started going to hell, you had this well-off family, but now they started having to sell their goods. They started having to cancel memberships, and it started that way, but eventually got to the essentials, where they started losing their jobs. They couldn't have heat. It was cold. Their dog died. Their daughter ran away into prostitution so she could make money. The family split up. Things got bad, and it went from losing pleasures to losing necessities to life and death. That's the cycle it goes in. Because when you build a society, you start with necessity, and then comes luxury. So when things start to go, the first things that start to go are the luxury. But then what follows? The necessity. And that's when things get more archaic and more chaotic. Okay? So now let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 9. It says, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Think about it. Why would friends want to hurt each other? Friends are people that, even though they argue or have their differences, they patch it up and they just keep it pushing, right? But why is it that friends are going to destroy one another? What would make a friend kill another friend? Desperation. chaos, anger. It says, then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall what? Unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. And when you look up that word incontinency, it's basically lack of self-control. All right, basically being self-willed uncontrollably. And so these people are going to be driven by their crazed, bugged out emotions and desires, you know, and starvation is going to drive people to eat others, like in the movie The Road. And people are going to be going around like a free-for-all, doing whatever the hell they please, killing people at will, you know, not batting an eye at it. Verse 11, one land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. And at the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtained. You're going to be praying, you're going to be crying, you're going to be begging, you're going to be trying all different names, all different religions, and nothing is going to happen for you. You're going to have people even calling upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and nothing is going to happen for them, because they're going to hope, but nothing obtain. They're going to pray, and their prayers are not going to be answered. Because you have to seek the Lord while he may be found. You got to seek the Lord now. Your only solution, your cure is prevention. That's it. This isn't the option of prevention is better than cure, this or that. No, there's only one way. You seek the Lord while the evil days come not. You have to be proactive. Reactive will not benefit you. All right. It says they shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. Okay, and so lastly, I have this. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 24. It says, and it links with what we just read. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. And once again, think about it, right? Think about one of your closest friends. And think about how close or how cool you guys are. Why would you fight against each other like enemies? There has to be a difference. There has to be some friction, something in between that causes that. And as we're seeing these polls showing how these people are so very angry, and you have people now, so-called friends, that get mad at each other over the stupid, pettiest reasons. So think about how much more when the reasons aren't so stupid and petty anymore. When the reasons are life and death, when the reasons are very dire. When you need them most and they're not there. It says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. And people are not going to know what to do. That's going to be one of the main things that drives people crazy. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to be afraid, and they're going to be in pain, and they're going to be suffering, but they're not going to know how to end it. All right, and some people are going to just try to blow their brains out. It's just going to turn into something. But, you know, I just found this article very interesting. Polls show that American people are extremely angry, and they are about to get even angrier. And I believe at the bottom of the article it says, if Americans are this angry while things are still relatively stable, what is the mood of this country gonna look like once things really start to fall apart? So there you go. It says, these are such troubled times, and I have a feeling that really big surprises are just around the corner. And yes, they are just around the corner. All right, so we're getting ready to see what this place really looks like, all right, when all hell breaks loose. Okay, so I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. The water for putting the precepts on there. Salakia for not really getting to them. But in closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.